Today we are introducing Tom Jacobs of Jacobs & Jacobs Law Firm. Today we're going to be doing just a little Q&A so that we can learn about auto injury and how to manage it.
My name's Tom Jacobs. I'm an attorney and I do bodily injury claims. The name of our firm is Jacobs & Jacobs, and I've been practicing doing that sort of work for about 40 years. Well, at the scene of the accident, the first thing that should be done is to call the police, and typically a 911 call. It's advantageous to have the police come to the scene because they document everything, like the name of the other driver, the insurance information, and so forth. Sometimes, if there's not a lot of damage to a vehicle, the police don't come. And in that case, of course, you should get the name of the other driver, their address, their telephone number, the name of their insurance company, their policy number. And then if you have your cell phone there, take photos of the damage to both vehicles, and then see a healthcare provider, preferably a chiropractor, as soon as possible. Well, there's two aspects to that question. The first is that if you have personal injury protection on your own vehicle, they're obligated to pay for your treatment costs, and under the policy, you have to cooperate with them. So if they call you, you have to tell them how the accident happened. You have to tell them about your injuries and where you're treating. However, if the other insurance company calls you, that is the at-fault driver's insurance company, you don't have to cooperate with them, you don't have to talk to them, and we would rather you not talk to them because they're just trying to get information to use against you at a later time. Well, basically, we like to get cases and injured people come into our office as soon as possible after an accident, because we want to insulate them from the adjusters. Because adjusters have one thing in mind, and that is paying as little as possible and settling as quickly as possible. That's their business model. And to do that, many times they play doctor and suggest to the patient that they've had enough chiropractic care, massage therapy, and other types of treatment. And of course, their motivation for doing that is to cut off the flow of money. So it's stressful for a patient to go through that, and so if we represent someone, we cut off all contact between the injured party and all insurance companies. In our firm, our philosophy is that we like to orchestrate in every aspect of the claim from the beginning until the end. And so consequently, we like to get an accident case the day of, or maybe a couple of days after the accident, before the insurance company has an opportunity to speak with the injured party. And then we coordinate the medical and the legal side. We have conversations with the healthcare providers along the way. We coordinate the legal and the medical so that the outcome is good at the end. Well, the initial conference with a potential client is absolutely free. We put no pressure on anyone to sign any kind of documents. Attorneys that do this kind of work charge on what we call a contingent fee basis. So there's no hourly charge. We don't ask anybody to pay any money up front, and if we're successful in the claim, then we get paid. And typically the fee is 1/3 of whatever it is. If we have to go through the litigation process, which is less than 10% of the time, the fee goes up to 40%. So we will never ask a potential client for any money, and if we're not successful for them, then we don't get paid. Well, it's a very good question. It's a question I'm sure you get asked as well as we do many times. we settle 90% of our cases without suing anyone. And I believe that we do that because we thoroughly get all the information to provide to an insurance adjuster, who then makes an offer, and we get the claim settled without litigation. We never force or put pressure on any client of ours to go into the litigation process. We get the best offer on the table. We explain to them what it would mean financially to them after payment of all their treatment costs. And then it's their decision whether or not to go into the litigation process. Typically, the litigation process for a soft tissue injury auto accident is that we would take them through mandatory arbitration, which is not a very emotional process, and it's much less complex and quicker than a jury trial. However, for bigger cases, we try a lot of jury trials as well. But again, only 10% of our cases end up in litigation. Well, we are pro-chiropractic at Jacobs & Jacobs. We believe that for the average sort of injury where it's a soft tissue injury, which we believe is a significant sort of injury, much more serious than a broken bone in many respects, that the best type of treatment is a chiropractor. So before the client would leave our office, we would make sure that they would have an appointment with a quality chiropractic office like your office that we deal with, and of course we refer people geographically so that it's convenient for them to get treatment along the way. This can be a fairly complex issue in that if someone does not have PIP or personal injury protection through their own auto carrier, and if they do have health insurance that covers chiropractic care, and if Pacific Wellness is a preferred provider for their particular type of insurance, and if the patient asks you to bill health, then you're obligated to bill health. However, if there is a copay that's required at the time payment at the time of each treatment, then it's necessary that they pay that copay. If they don't pay their copay when they come in, then you have no obligation to bill health insurance, and you simply hold your bill, and if we're involved in the claim, we'll get you paid dollar for dollar at the end of the claim. Well, yes, it is, because the days are long gone where an insurance company really is interested in paying what's fair for a claim. Again, what they're interested in is settling for the least amount of money possible as quickly as possible. That's their business model. So if a patient really wants to be fairly compensated for their injuries, and other than just get their medical bills paid, then without an attorney on their own, we don't believe it's possible for them to do that. And we know that because many people try to negotiate their own claims. They end up in our office after they're insulted by a very low offer, and then we get involved in a claim, and we get multiple times more than what is offered by an insurance company. So we believe that even with PIP coverage that is paying for their treatment costs, patients need the services of an attorney that does this kind of work. Well, there's actually two prongs to that question. If they have PIP coverage, their PIP carrier, their own insurance company, is obligated to pay reasonable and necessary treatment. But they typically are not your friend either, and they want to cut off the flow of money as well. And they have various tricks for doing that, including having the records reviewed by someone in the Midwest who is a chiropractor or other healthcare professional that would render an opinion about whether the treatment is fair and reasonable, even though they haven't seen the patient. As far as the third party or at-fault driver's insurance company, They pay a lump sum at the end of the claim, and of course, yes, they too argue about whether or not the bills are reasonable and necessary. Even in a rear-end collision where it's clearly the fault of the other party. Again, insurance companies' motivation is to settle quick and cheap, and that's their business model. Well, we believe in chiropractic. There's basically two routes for treatment for people that are injured in auto wrecks and other type of trauma. There is the ER, MD treatment, drug therapy, and sometimes physical therapy that an MD would refer a patient to. And then the other treatment path is typically chiropractic, massage therapy, acupuncture, and then in conjunction with physical therapy or at least rehab. We believe in the latter because we're in a unique position to see that, how patients do with both types of treatment. So we try to encourage people to get hands-on real treatment to get to the bottom and the root cause of why they're having pain and discomfort. And we believe that chiropractic is a wonderful means to do that. It's been my pleasure to be here. And it's my pleasure also to work in our firm with Pacific Wellness and the doctors here who do a wonderful job of treating patients. So it's a pleasure to work with their staff and the doctors here. And we look forward to many more years of working together, helping injured people.
Thank you, Tom, for coming in today and sharing some of your insight and expertise in this matter. And hopefully through this advice, you can share this with your friends and learn about it yourself and know what to do in the case of an auto accident. Thanks for watching our video again today, guys. We hope that this information was enlightening. Please like this and share it with your friends. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.